Alright, so first of all, I just want to say this video is kind of inspired by this video by Eric Parker where uh, Windows XP is just exposed to the internet on IPv4 and just for a few hours. And basically, what happened is a few processes started, unknown users, you know, the stuff you'd see with people just getting into your computer. But what I have decided to do is I've decided to repeat that experiment, but this time we're trying it on IPv6. Um, Now, essentially, if I just put it out there on IPv6, which is what I first tried, no one is going to find this. It's not technically Slack generated. I'll explain more a little later, but I've set it up to where I just have basically complete access through a VNC server, and like anyone can access this. There's no authentication. Basically, what I've been doing over time is I've just been escalating the amount of vulnerable that this machine is. And so the first little while, maybe the first week, I just had it vulnerable as in it's Windows XP and it's exposed to the public internet, right? Um, so I think the first I don't think I had anything during that time. So essentially, what I did was I just made it more vulnerable. You can see it has completely exposed VNC with authentication disabled. You can see it has HTTP, your general stuff, exposed MySQL. There's nothing really valuable on here, but with it completely exposed and without any sort of password, you'd still expect some results. This is the actual computer itself. You'll notice I'm running on localhost right now. Reason why is I'm actually just in an SSH proxy because I can't directly get into it for reasons I'll explain later. But anyone out there on the regular internet would be able to just get into it. But this is what's running right now. You can see it's not too crazy. Some of the stuff you'd say is suspicious, but most of that is just the stuff I've installed myself. Like this HTTPD, that's, I just installed XAMPP on here. That basically got all of that exposed, and I just made it extra vulnerable, exposed the actual backend HTTP configuration. FileZilla, I don't think there's a password on there, or it tells you the password, one of the two. SSH server, that I think also just tells you the password. Maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, and MySQL, I think that's it. You basically just have access with a very easy password, if not no password at all. The VNC server, this is just for monitoring. It doesn't really work on XP, but hey, I was going to try it anyway. And then we have Supermium running down here and Process Explorer. So really nothing too crazy. There was actually one thing, like very early on, that I did not install on here. And that was actually just an AnyDesk someone installed. Basically, I think the first week or two after publishing it on Shodan, it essentially someone got into it, locked the VNC server, and installed AnyDesk, but then they just never returned. So I don't know what that was about. So I just unlocked the VNC server eventually, and I guess, did I ever disable that process? I left it running for probably a month, but anyway. But yeah, as I mentioned, normally you might be confused on how Shodan actually found this. As I said, it's not really possible to. That's because I just basically put it on the monitor as one of my servers, and so they'll basically scan it and then put it on there. And yeah, it's publicly exposed. You can just search for, I think, net 2000/4 that searches all of IPv6 essentially. Um, and then just search authentication disabled. Oh, well, I'd have to log in, but essentially that'll pop up this server because VNC says it's authentication disabled. So, um, really easy to get into. So, a little bit on how long this has been running. You can see all the way back in 2025. Right now it's January the 24th. So, essentially, it's probably been up for like a month, maybe 2 months now. The VNC server's probably been exposed for 1.5 months. It's probably been on Shodan for about 1.5 months. But still, we just have no one visiting, which is kind of strange. And just to show you, it's completely exposed. I think this is the right way. I'll just do an Nmap scan right now. Essentially, the reason why I have it in this not Slack IP address, not DHCP IP address, it's kind of manual. The reason why is it's actually running behind a NAT64 server, because a lot of these services, although technically it does actually have an IPv6 address of its own, it basically, a lot of services don't actually use Windows XP's IPv6 address because you have to grab old versions of software that don't support it. So I think MySQL, HTTPD, and several others were actually running on IPv6, but like the VNC server wasn't. So when it's through the NAT64 proxy, basically what that does is it just turns the IPv4 traffic into IPv6 packets for the global internet, so anyone can essentially access it even though not all the services are running on IPv6. So that kind of makes it even more exposed than it would be if it was just normal Windows XP exposed on IPv6. But it's more comparable to IPv4 that way, so that's why I did. So yeah, it's just kind of been an interesting experiment where not much has happened. So I guess that's my little update. Anyway, if you want to check it out, IP address right here. All you need to do is pick your favorite easy access method. There's Telnet. SSH is a little difficult to get into because it's just the old versions of the protocol. VNC is open. FTP, I think you have full access to the C drive, so have fun with that. And then, if you want to, and you have actually accessed it, feel free to just email me, just telling me you were here, because, like, I've seen no one, and I just want someone to find it at this point. So, anyway, have fun with it. Goodbye.